To learn about the off-grid lifestyle and to be inspired to live your dreams, click subscribe so you don't miss anything. Hit the bell notification. Okay, so I'm back at the tiny house build. So today I got a very nerve-wracking job to do on the tiny house. As you know, I've been hanging metal roofing material on my roof and on the walls, and everything has worked out really well so far. But today I've got the challenge of some extreme cuts. To me, they're extreme cuts. I have the angle of the gable that I got to cut out. Plus I got the window that I got to cut out. I got the tongue of the trailer that I got to cut around. People said I should be able to unbolt that and remove it. It's welded. There's no way to remove the tongue. So what I'm going to do is I have this piece of metal that I cut out for one of the windows, and it has the full width. So it's 3 feet, whatever inches. So I don't have to worry about that measurement, because what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hang that piece of metal on the wall, and then that will establish how far my metal goes out. So it'll go out to about right here. Then all I got to do is measure from the ground all the way up to the gable, and then I have to come over here, measure from the ground all the way up to the gable, and then I'll know what the distance is and my angle. So I'll just come over to the metal, I'll measure that out. So let's say this was 10 feet and this is going to be 11 feet, for example. I'll just take the 10, which is what the metal sheet is anyways, and 11, and cut that angle out. But there's several problems with this. One, if you even get off a little bit on your degree, so let's say I come out 3 feet 1 inch here, but somehow I get off on my measurement here and it's like 3 feet and 2 inches over here, that inch is going to be really extreme. A little bit of unsquare doesn't hurt over short distances. If you were to take that off to a mile and you're just an inch off, just a little bit, but you take that off a mile, it'd be like a half mile off. Well, the same problem is going to exist here. But the problem is if I get that extreme, the metal isn't going to fit, or it's going to be too big of a gap. The other problem I have is my ground isn't level either. So what I'm going to do is I know that this piece of metal right here, where my foot is what I need. So I got to figure out a way to build a structure and make it level all the way across from that piece. So I got a lot of challenges today, and I'm going to do my best to explain what it is I'm doing at each step. The roof was a big worry for me because I had the chimney, and I was so worried that I was going to mess something up with the chimney and the roof coming together. I did fine, it worked out. Well, this is the other aspect that I've been really worried about, is if I mess this up, I'm in serious trouble. Now, I can make a mistake, maybe one mistake, because I got the window. So my sheets are, I forget how long they are, let's say they're 12 feet long. I can cut out the window, that's going to leave me 3 feet of extra material. So if I make a mistake, I got that 3 feet of extra material that I can adjust for. Of course, that's going to leave a seam, it's not going to be very pretty, but it won't be the end of the story. Buying the metal roofing isn't that expensive. It's like $20 a sheet, depending on how long it is, but roughly $20 a sheet. It's the shipping costs that kill you. It's $150 to ship. They build these crates for you, and they're supposed to be returnable. I've said this in other videos. Menards shipping is terrible. They're supposed to be returnable and they give you a store credit for it. But if you go to the web page, that's where you find out that they give you store credit. They don't give you money back. That's where you find out is on their web page. If it's damaged, they will not take it back. It says it right on the web page. I've had people in the comments section say, I work at Menards. I think they take it back. Well, then why does the web page say they don't? So they broke this one. So either I'm out to $150 or I got to spend $30 for another 2x6 to repair it. They lost another one. Now, how am I to prove that they lost it? I can't. So I don't want to go and buy another piece of metal because of the shipping cost. and the loss of money. I mean, there's $300 that I lost. Okay, so I'm gonna get started. I'm going to do the best I can to explain what it is I'm doing at each step. We'll see how well that works out. I'm sure that there are tools and instruments that you could use to make this job easier. I just don't have them. So we're gonna make do with what we got. I'm gonna do it similar to the way I did the trusses. With the trusses, I built my first truss, laid it out on the floor, drew it out on the floor, and that way every truss after that, I was able to just duplicate. Worked out perfect, so I got 9 identical trusses that way. So I'm gonna try to do something similar here with that piece of metal. And now the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put 1x4s on the wall like I've done everywhere else. So I got something that I can screw into for the metal. One other thing I gotta do before I get started is I gotta put a J-channel around the window. Now, a J-channel is where the metal roofing is going to fit down into. And so similar to this window here, this window had a pre-installed J-channel and it fits inside. Well, this one does not have a J-channel, so I had to buy it and I got to put it around the window. And you got to do it in a fashion that the water, if it gets in the top J-channel, will not get in behind the metal roofing material. The first one has to be real long, then you put down your sides underneath it, and then you'll put in this bottom one. That way everything runs down and not in and around and inside the metal roofing. Okay, so I have a temporary piece up there, and what that piece is supposed to represent is the width of the panel. This is very important. I need to know where that panel ends right there so I can measure up. So I'll put a straight edge right there up, and that way I can draw a line and then I know exactly where to measure from, right there. And then on the other side of the panel, I'm going to measure from that corner all the way down to the ground. That corner is the foundation of my entire measurement. Everything is going to be based off that one corner. Then all I have to do is just figure out the geometry of everything. You see the triangle, you can see the straight edge. And so when I transfer the measurements over to my other panel, I'll make sure that that is my starting point. Okay, so I've turned the panel around, so my bottom is now in the truck. This is the top. I've got my chalk line here. Not sure you can see that. That's 126 3/4 inches. Now, I've measured up 18 inches. That's here. So now I'll draw a chalk line from here to this chalk line, and that gives me my angle now. Okay, so if I've done everything right, I'm not sure you can see it. There's my angle right there. So I'll cut this piece off. That'll be scrap. That'll be the angle all the way down to the ground. Okay, so I put the panel up there temporarily. I actually covered my temporary panel just so I could get it all to line up just the way I wanted to make sure that it was correct. I still have to cut out the window. So while it was up there, I went ahead and made my marks. That way I don't have to measure it out and go through that hassle again and risking an error since it's already up there. It fits really well. So first measurement did well, right down to the bottom, it matches up with the other panel. You'll see the gap there, that's where the trim goes, right at the corner. So once again, our fantastic weather people are doing a fantastic job of not predicting the weather correctly. So it started downpouring pretty good. It's cold. I think it's probably gonna freeze. It's that cold, so, but that's okay. I got what I wanted done, and just in the nick of time. I promised myself I was not going to rush this. The J channel took a lot longer than I anticipated. I measured, I checked my measurement. I would take the panel, cut it, bring it over, make sure it fit, take it back over, cut it again for the window, bring it over, make sure it fit. I tried to line my screws up. When I put it up the first time to check to make sure it fit, I put a screw in two spots. So the second time I came back, I made sure that those screws went back in the same exact holes, because I knew the first time I had it exactly right because I had that temporary piece underneath it. I hope I can inspire you to take your time, get it right, so you can live your dream. Thanks for watching.